All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Dunk Talk episode 7. My name is Dylan Haugen, and today I'm here with my co-host Hunter Castona and Shankar. Is that how you say your name?
Yep, Shankar the Dunker. Let me do a
Yes,
little intro.
sir.
Welcome back to Above the Rim Reviews. Today we are doing a co-pod with the what's the name of your podcast again? Dunk
Dunk
Talk.
Talk. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we are doing a pod on Dylan Hagen's Dunk Talk. Happy to be here talking shoes, talking dunking. Let's get into
Yes,
it.
sir. Yeah. I mean, Hunter, you can introduce yourself real quick, but basically, um, this guy here, probably the smartest dude when it comes to basketball shoes that I know. Couldn't even name anyone else. So he does something called Above the Rim Reviews. Definitely go check it out on Instagram. Best reviews out there for sure. Goes into like the full tech breakdown and all that. So super cool stuff. But yeah, appreciate you coming on, Hunter. You want to introduce yourself real quick and we can get started?
Again, I'm Hunter Castona, 6'1" dunker. Obviously, I'm the co-host here. Um, Obviously, I've been talking to Shankar quite a bit about some shoes, not very recently, but in the past, talked about some Kobe sixes, some way
Yeah,
weights.
I consult him
So
before every purchase.
yes, yes, 100%. But
Yeah, I'm
but yeah,
happy.
All
I'm
I'm
right.
I'm
happy to
excited
help.
for this. So
Yes, man.
Yeah, happy to help always. Yeah, the whole reason that what do you want to start with? You want to start with shoes first, or you want to start with dunking first? Let's do
We can
dunking
start with
first, I
dunking.
think.
Yeah, let's do dunking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, dunker. Like, what got you into dunking? Like, what was your first experiences? Some of your first inspirations? Just all that.
Yeah, so being on the taller end, I'm 6'4", 6'5" right now, and I'm gonna be 6'5" forever because I don't grow anymore. I'm 28. I was a triple jumper and high jumper in high school. So this is like 2009 to 2013 because I'm an old guy. So I wasn't any really good at triple and high jump,
I
but
wasn't
coming from
even
that
born
that
yet.
yeah, but coming from that track background, and then I didn't play high school basketball, but I just kind of like played club and just played around. And once I hit a certain height and certain age, I think I was 15 when I got my first dunk, 6'2" and 15, so a lot older and taller than you were, Dylan, since you're a prodigy. That's when I got my first dunk, and from that point on, like once you get your first, you're kind of addicted, right?
Yeah.
basically, yeah.
I I was a lot skinnier back then, so I kind of just hooped and just maintained. And then when I was 6'5", I was able to, tomahawk off one. I grazed in a windmill, but I wasn't really anything special. And then I got a injury and then kind of stopped hooping until I was 24. And then the pandemic hit when I was like 23, 24. And actually, the guy who we were just talking about, Connor Barth, he's made basically the reason why I started dunking again. So have you guys seen a Ball is Life video where it's like, what happens when pro dunkers take over in LA Fitness and like Austin Berkey's
Hard.
in that, CJ Champion's in that, Isaiah Rivera, Nick
Oh yeah,
Briz, and then
yeah.
Connor Barth is like putting his elbow in his shoulder
One where
and
he
That's
just
shoots the
yeah.
ball into
the,
the.
yeah the
That's
shoot that's
that's
the one.
literally the session we were talking about the most.
We talked
Yeah,
Literally
about that for
before
like 20
this.
minutes,
it's
bro.
it's infamous. And I was looking at that and I just keep watching and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's like my height. If I train hard enough, I could get like 60% to where he is. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I credit Connor Barth in that session to like kind of getting me off my ass and actually wanting to do better because for the longest time, I thought like my athletic peak was going to be just like rim grazing and like doing two-hand tomahawks every now and then.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have like the motivation to just kind of push that past until and
We
just until then. And so I started with ATG, wasn't working out because I still had knee pain. That was like the main thing that was like stopping me from going forward. I tried Connor Barth's program. That actually did really well in like getting me into a base. But then I ended up moving to THP because I plateaued and I really wanted to like push through. And THP is kind of what got me from that like 31, 32 inch vert to like that 37, 38, maybe 39 on a really good day vert.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot with Connor actually, kind of like that. You'll never know what your peak is unless you truly try.
Yeah.
So I think that's a super cool, thing to talk about. Just like we literally just said, like you will literally never know how far you will go. Like there are people who are just like, oh, my genetics suck, so there's no point in trying. It's like, no, that's like it's the exact same. Like it's
Yeah.
the exact same as someone who has insane genetics. It's just your peak might be different. Like it's still a super fun process to go through, and you learn a lot about your body throughout the process. So
And like what Connor said is that you just keep it for the rest of your life. Obviously not to the full extent, but like you keep mostly what you have training wise.
yeah, it's
So
it's hard to detrain unless you're being really dumb. So
Yeah.
Like my main goals were first to East Bay, which I did that. Then it was to get my head like hit my head on the rim. And if I never get that goal, then my goal after that is to be dunking when I'm 60, and then after that to be dunking when I'm 70. And if I'm happy with
that's
that,
exactly what that, bro. That's
We
literally
literally
what
just
Connor
talked
said.
about it.
It's hilarious. So
Uh,
you're 6'4", 6'5", you said?
yeah,
Head to rim on 10 feet, 9'9". What were you thinking?
that would be a 43-inch vert, which like
43?
totally attainable. I'm still
Yeah, for
like
sure.
that the last few inches are going to be the hardest pause, but
Yeah.
that's the goal. Like just keep training, keep getting through injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, injuries is going to be a big thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
that's always a one factor that people kind of either quit or just don't train as hard as because they just get
Yeah.
injured.
And I
So
know, and I know you've gone through quite a bit of injuries, especially recently. So have those been through mostly basketball or through lifting, dunking?
All through basketball. Yeah, everything I've done is just because I play too much basketball or I dunk too much, and I don't like sleep well enough or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, basketball is usually going to be the one. But I love basketball too much to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a super hard thing to do. Like this summer, I made a decision to not play AU, mostly because I was like my knee pain, like playing 4 games in a day, it just
Yeah. Oh
killed
my
me
God.
last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just decided to take this summer off to just like get strong, get my knees right, and obviously get my vertical up. But yeah, I probably will not. I'll definitely play like my junior senior year through high
Yeah.
school. Um, but I mean, I could not do it. I feel like
I
too.
mean, that's what I thought was going to happen. But I've taken basketball out for over a year and a half now, completely. So like that's all I was. I was a hooper from like starting like fifth grade all the way up until I think it was like technically freshman year of college. And like I would hoop every single day, but then obviously my knee pain was terrible and everything like that. And then I just made the decision that like for me, dunking is a lot more fun than playing 5v5. So I just only had dunk sessions, and it was obviously more fun for me than to play basketball. So like I thought the same thing. Like I'm gonna play basketball forever, but like I haven't like played a 5v5 game in over a year and a half.
Yeah, I feel like after high school, I don't really plan on playing much. Just like here and there, get the like the Isaiah Rivera, LA
Yeah,
Fitness
but
takeover type stuff.
this creates an interesting conundrum because I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like the best adrenaline rush and the best legs are always going to be after you have like a really competitive game of like it doesn't have to be 5v5, but like even 3-on-3, 21, or like 4-on-4. That's when your
Yeah,
legs feel the best.
I'm trying to think
Yeah,
of like examples, but like I've definitely had times, like especially when I'm like no, there's obviously no cameras in most of these situations, but like I have, in between games or in warm-ups for high school games, like I have like back rimmed E-space. Like just
Yeah.
like
yeah,
when I'm on days where I like should not even be jumping, and like sometimes on days where I lead up perfectly, like I still like don't I'm not back rimming E-space like those days, and then I'm like randomly having my
Yeah.
highest ever with
Yeah,
no
yeah,
warm-up.
before I turned my ankle, when I hit that East Bay off one, which kind of came out of nowhere, the 2 days
and the
before
game
that,
was
that was on a Tuesday, but 2 days before that, I had a terrible, terrible session on 9-9. Like, and imagine like you think you should be like punching everything on 9-9 at my height with my vert, but bad session, barely getting some windmills in, barely got like a 2-hand windmill in. Then 2 days after that, I play a league game. We get our ass blown out by 30, and I'm like mad because they're like talking trash. The guys we were playing were the scout team for the UCLA women's team, which
Oh,
when
I
they
know one of the
play,
guys on there.
yeah, when they play, the UCLA women's team comes and like they start talking shit to us too. So I was just like, man, what the fuck? So I had all this energy and rage, and I just went and like started jumping like crazy after that. I'm like, huh. It's weird how like 2 days can just make such a difference between your jump sessions.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. I mean, so obviously, you know a lot about shoes, so you kind of have two intros here. Like, what like got you into like basketball shoes and like knowing like all the tech and stuff? Because like you are like so much smarter than me than when it comes to actual details of it.
There's no right answer. I feel like everyone who plays basketball kind of has a thing for shoes because sneaker culture and basketball are like very intertwined. But
Yeah,
I
very.
think the real answer for me is I have ADHD, and ADHD creates hyperfixations, and my fixation has always been shoes. And
Mm.
so that's kind of like even before when I wasn't like super serious about basketball, I'd always be like, "Oh, what are you wearing? Those are cool. Oh, what are you wearing? Those are cool." I had a little bit of time like in the sneaker like in the sneaker culture market where I was like hunting Jordans, trying to sign up for raffles when I lived in LA. And then when the pandemic happened, I had all these shoes that were just kind of sitting around, just gathering dust. And I'm like, well, I want to play basketball again, and I'm not using these shoes, so I'm going to sell these shoes and use that to buy performance shoes. And then I started gathering performance shoes, and I had too many, so I'm like, why don't I put these to use and start like making review videos of them so I can at least justify buying more and then selling them if I stop using them. And that's kind of how it's been. And now I have, I think, last time I counted was 77 pairs of size
Oh
12s
wow,
in my apartment.
Oh my gosh.
At least
I didn't know
45 of
that.
them are basketball shoes, and at least 35 of them are like indoor only basketball shoes.
So like, let's talk about if you were to sell all of them. Are we looking at like how much money are we looking at here?
Let's see, because not all of these have like I've paid like I think the most expensive pair I have are my retail Kobe 5 Protros, which I bought for 660, but if I sold them, I'd maybe only get like 350 back because I've used them so much.
Oh
So if
yeah.
I were getting like an average of like 150 per pair, let's see, eight like 77 times 150, I'd get about $12,000 rounded up back.
That's
That's
crazy.
absurd.
I think I
That's
have,
actually absurd.
I don't know, because a lot of my shoes are like destroyed and not even usable. But if they're basically all in my room right now. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 16. And I thought that was a lot.
Yeah, I have
So
like I have inwards between 15 and 20 basketball or hooping shoes, whatever you call it, and then probably like another like 10 casual or something like that.
Right, but
yeah,
like when you find them all around on your house and then you collect them for 2 years, it like adds up so quickly.
yeah.
But you never really want to get rid of them because you're just like, wait, but I have this fit that works for them, you
No,
know?
yeah. Well, the thing is with me is like it's not even about fits, bro. Like I have these Freak threes here. Freak threes used to be my favorite shoes, like by far. And they like the zoom is popped, the sole is basically gone, like they're just ripped everywhere. Like I still
Yeah.
keep them because I can't get rid of them, bro.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
so I think the shoe that really got me into shoes, like as like basketball shoes, was
Mhm.
I think you'd just been born when these came out, the Nike Hyperdunk 2008. I was like 13 when they came out, or 12 or 13 when they came out, and like the Team USA just worn them, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is like the first slim pair of basketball shoes. They're like super lightweight." And I got a pair after like we were at a tournament in Vegas, and we were like hunting around. My dad and I were hunting around for like 3 days straight, and we finally found a pair, and I wore that pair into the ground, and I can never get rid of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have the shoes I got my first dunk in and they're like completely
Yeah.
destroyed. But I'm like, I can't get
I
rid of
did
these, bro.
I do I have that as well. They're the Kobe like 80 2018s or something like that.
Mhm.
Like those were my favorite shoes, favorite Kobe shoes even
Yeah.
like ever.
Yeah, I
So
guess
and
we
like
could I guess we could both answer that question later, like the first shoes I got you into shoes. I think for me it was like eighth grade AAU. I had a coach that was like really big on Kobe's, like he just loved Kobe's, had a lot of Kobe's. And so
Mhm.
I was just like, oh my gosh, like I need to get some Kobe's because he was just talking about how great they are. And so I was looking for like weeks, just like on GOAT on all those like resale websites trying to find some. And eventually I found some Kobe 4 Protro Carpe. There's the Carpe Diems. Actually, I have them
Oh, the
right here. I
Carpe
don't know
Diems,
why I'm
yeah.
not. Yeah, these ones.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
these ones got me into it. I bought them for probably like 225 used. But they're super nice. Like I could still wear them. Traction's starting to give a little bit, but they're still like probably my favorite shoes to play basketball. Not my favorites. The sixes I love the most probably, but
yeah,
like those were
love
the
the
shoes that really
sixes.
got me into it, and then I was just addicted after that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously with this, Shunker got me on these ones, the
Yeah.
Max
The
sixes.
Max guys. Yeah.
So those are the
They
ones
work
that I
super
got.
well, yeah.
Oh, I love them. Like obviously, I like my way tens and stuff like that way better. But like
Mhm.
just comfortability wise, I think those are the next up for me. So,
yeah.
but
100%. Yeah, so when I started doing this review channel, I kind of set out to answer this question like what is the best possible shoe for dunking?
Yeah, I actually
And
before you start, I
yeah,
have notes of three shoes that I want to
sure.
that I want to talk to you about. So, I mean, go
Sure.
ahead and say what you're going to say, but just let me know.
Let's do your thing first. Let's do your thing first.
Okay. Well, I mean, three shoes that I've seen you talk about as like
Mhm.
your favorite shoes or your best shoes
Yeah.
are obviously the Wave 10, highs,
Mhm.
lows, whatever. The Kobe 8s with the Aaron Gordon midsole or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Li-Ning Gammas, obviously.
Yep.
So obviously, if you want to go into all those,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right,
Let me
bro.
get them. So I got the Gammas
I need to
here.
talk to you. I need to
I
talk to
got
you
the
about
Gammas
those, bro.
here. Let me grab
Oh
my
my gosh,
Kobe's.
he pulled him on. Oh,
So I got the Kobe's with the Kobe 8s. And then what was it? The Wade 10s. We'll do my favorites. All right.
Those are
So
beautiful.
each one. So this guy's king right now. Although I damn near snapped my ankle in these, uh, I love them because they're just super lightweight. The traction is like 100% perfect on every single floor, and it's not about
Wow.
the pattern on it or anything. It's like 100% the rubber. And
Mm.
then the embedded carbon fiber right here. It goes like from here and then on into the boom on the bottom. Something about the shape just makes it feel like a trampoline. It just
Yeah, but
feels
I
like
actually, before you go on, carbon fiber is like obviously talked about quite a bit in
yeah,
sneakers now, especially with like insoles and whatever. So
yeah.
can you explain like what the benefit of carbon fiber like is in shoes and
Yeah,
for performance?
let's talk a little bit about about like materials engineering and physics in this. So carbon fiber has a flexibility to rigidity ratio while also being super light that kind of
Do
allows it
these
to act.
do
Yeah,
these have
that's
it?
in there. It's in there.
Okay.
It allows it to act when it bends like a miniature springboard, but instead of having like actual springs or just like something that like moon shoes that would like get your ankles broken. It can actually work and return to its form and provide a lot of like basketball specific energy and like jumping specific energy that
Yeah,
makes it really valuable. So with Victory insoles, the science makes a lot of sense for Victory insoles because you're still putting carbon fiber, like you're putting it through stresses and then it brings it back up when you bend it and then you like it compresses up and then pushes you up. But
yeah.
the problem with the Victory insoles is other than, it takes a shit ton of time to break in. It can be kind of heavy. It can reduce the court feel. It can reduce the cushion.
And they're
Um,
more expensive than the actual
and they're
shoes.
super expensive. Yeah,
Way
so
overpriced.
it works, but there's a cost to having it work. Whereas if it's built into the shoe itself, it can just it can feel a lot better and more
It works a lot
yeah,
better.
works a lot
Yeah,
better,
so I
exactly.
mean, I'll say I used to work for Victory and Souls. Not like work for Victory and Souls, but I was like one of their ambassadors. Like
ambassador. Yeah.
Yeah.
they paid me
They pay
monthly
well.
to promote. Not me really. Well, I mean, it was like 75, 100 a month, but that's
Okay.
besides the point, obviously. So yeah, I just made like one video a month for them, and I'm pretty sure I was
Mhm.
late on every video because I didn't really care. But basically, point is, the first time I wore them, I was like, these work, 100%. These work. Like there was no question in my mind. Like these are insane. Like I was like, I hit my first windmill probably 5 months prior, and then I came into this session wearing these insoles. Like I had no idea that like what you just said. Basically, I was just like, these make you jump higher. I heard it from them,
Yeah.
and so I got them, put them in my shoes, go to the gym, and I hit my first windmill in like 5 months probably. I had like multiple new dunks, not like crazy new dunks, but I just felt
Mhm.
different, bro. But then the next session, like every session past that, it was just kind of like, they're just insoles, and it wasn't like I was like it wasn't like I was windmilling every week. It wasn't like my vertical went up permanently. It literally like I just recently, like a couple weeks ago or maybe a couple months ago now, I took caffeine for the first time. It was
Mhm.
kind of like that. It was just like, you get a boost, it's just placebo basically. That's kind of what it felt like
Yeah.
to me. I do like the way they feel actually. Like I still wear them in my way 10s mostly because I
Mhm.
ripped out the insole and I don't feel like putting it back in.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean they're fine, but I would not say they're worth it, and I would not encourage anyone to buy them, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Makes
unfold me
sense.
after that, but whatever.
They're probably not
It's
even
all
gonna
right.
read it, so it's fine. Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
they definitely are not.
they're picking up creators like that like all the time, and
It's
they're
so
making
easy, bro.
yeah.
Selling snake
Ye-
oil.
Yeah, so that's what I like about like the new trend of like embedded carbon fiber in shoes. So I don't know if you guys
So
keep
yeah.
up with like how marathon running shoes are built. but they're built with that like curved carbon fiber. Like I don't even know how to do it, but they're built with that curved carbon fiber so that
Yeah.
every stride of like a marathon runner has like less and less energy they have to push. But that translates super well to basketball because you're running so much in basketball, and then it translates super well to dunking because you're actually putting the carbon into compression, which
Yeah.
gives it more propulsion.
Okay. So I
Okay.
mean, looking at those three shoes that I mentioned, would you say that those are your top three?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Good.
Yeah,
I was correct.
actually, there's one. I don't feel like going and getting up now. There's just like this one Li-Ning Ushuai shoe that is like kind of similar, but it's like so negligible to the Way of Weight 10 that I actually kind of put them like side by side. So
Hmm.
uh,
I don't know
I had
that.
a
You
review
know
on
what they're
that one
called?
too. The Li-Ning Ushuai 18 Ultra.
Huh. I don't even remember that
Interesting.
review, to be honest. I might need to go watch it.
Yeah.
But
Same.
I mean, so let's just start with Weight 10. Like, what would you
Yeah.
say makes the Weight 10 so good? Because I mean,
So
I've had my pair for about a year now, and I still use them, and they're like still amazing. So
yeah. So number one, 100% the carbon fiber that goes from like the toe to the heel. It's nice and angled. I find that at least for the last year before I had like the other angled carbon fiber shoes, this was like the best implementation of carbon fiber in a basketball shoe. I don't know if you guys have had problems with yours with like the traction kind of being inconsistent, but when it works super, super well for the wave weight traction. But when it doesn't, it's still okay. Usually,
I've
sometimes it
heard
kind of
that.
sucks.
I've heard that, but I honestly don't think I have.
Yeah, I
I
don't I
don't.
don't have that
Yeah.
problem or I haven't had a problem yet with that, so I don't know.
Although actually, I jump on a floor that like that red court that I jump at.
Yeah,
It's like I don't even know what it's made of, to be honest with you.
it's
But
like
basically,
composite
like
rubber.
it like rubs off on my shoes. So like my white, I have the what is it called? White hot Way 10 lows,
Yeah.
and the soles turn like red because of that court. And then it started to get bad. But I literally just like use some shoe cleaner, clean it off. They're all white
Yeah.
again, and they work perfect. So I don't know. Might
Yeah.
just be a dirty
So
thing, but I have no clue.
yeah, when it comes to dunking, and Isaiah Rivera told me this when we did a like, talk about like the way of weight tens and like shoes in general, is like traction's the number one thing. So as long as you trust your traction, you'll be fine. And with that
Yeah.
comes just when you're done with the session, you don't even think about the shoes, how they hurt your feet. Like you don't ever have to think about how they fit on your feet. They kind of just like meld. And that doesn't matter about like how heavy it is or how much cushion it is. I mean, cushion kind of helps, but it's kind of just more like, can the
I've
shoe conform to your foot
yeah.
well?
I've always heard like people are like, "Oh, if the shoe doesn't have good cushion, I'm not gonna buy it." And I'm like, the cushion is like the thing I care about least. Like as long as the shoes like don't like, dig holes into my feet, like even if
Yeah,
they're like slightly uncomfortable and everything else is perfect, I'm buying those shoes instead of
Yes.
sacrificing like, oh, this is a puffy shoe except it's
yeah,
heavy and it doesn't have good traction. Like so I think some people value that way too much and it's like, yeah, if you want to lounge around like those are great, but like I wouldn't say the Way of Wades are like the most comfortable shoes I've worn, but
right.
they're the best performing, so I don't really care. So
Yeah. The way tends to kind of just do like everything right. Like they're super sleek, they're decently bouncy, they got decent cushion, good traction. They kind of just, yeah, they do everything right. But that's why like people like the Kobe sixes too, because they do everything right, even though they're not like perfect at every single thing.
yeah. The only thing I've heard about Kobe Six is well, I guess Tony Crosby is really the only person I've heard say this is just durability. Um have you
Yeah.
have you experienced that at all?
Well, I buy reps. I
Yeah. That's the
don't have a
thing, is
real pair
like
of Kobe sixes to confirm, and
Yeah.
I've
yeah,
cycled my shoes so much that like I don't really have anything coming apart.
yeah.
So
It makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah, I mean, so actually going back to like the Kobe Sixes or whatever, the ones
Mhm.
that Max did, aren't they like slightly
Uncle.
different? Aren't they different from
Yeah.
retail?
So most the retail Kobe sixes have like foam in the heel. That's
Mm,
called Cushlon. And then if you like take it apart, you'll be able to see like, okay, I see the Zoom Turbo looks like a pentagon like this, and then
yeah.
you have the thing in the heel. And then Max is like, fuck that, I'm not gonna do my own thing. I'm just gonna put a heel zoom in the heel, and then that makes them even more bouncy on the heel, especially. I just kind of like how it's built a little better.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that there was like extra zoom or something, and obviously they feel
That's what I
amazing.
heard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love wearing
I
them.
love them.
I love wearing them for basketball. So, I mean, is Max like done? I heard he got shut down or something.
So the factory itself is not like the Instagram account. Like the Instagram account is kind of just like a front, like just like a merchant or a
Yeah,
businessman.
yeah,
So the guy who runs that account is just the guy who like can place orders for the factory and stuff, and like he
yeah.
does marketing. But he's gotten into like run-ins with the Chinese law like every other
Uh,
month.
yeah.
So sometimes they'll because I ordered the Devin Booker player editions like in 2021, and then they re-released in 2023, and I had to like hunt him down and be like, "Hey, do you have them?" So that's why I
Yeah.
have those. But then like he's kind of unresponsive a lot of the time, which is why I find it better to like just learn how to buy from the Kobe Rep subreddit, or just like, yeah, find like a online shop that does that instead of like haggle max for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I got pretty lucky then with that because it was a smooth, like I got him. I messaged him. I think he got like back to me in like a day or whatever. But then obviously got all the information, whatever, and sent them, and I got them in like I think less than a week. So
Yeah.
like it was a really good process to have everything.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah, I
mean,
kind of heard about that too.
anything reps is definitely a little bit risky, whatever you do. But
Yeah.
I mean, generally it's fine. But I've heard of like some really crazy stories. Like one of my friends on Instagram, his name's Noah. He talked to me about buying from Kiku, and he bought
Hmm.
from
Yep.
Kiku, and they like charged him like $800 or something.
Oh, hell
Like
no.
on his like the payment itself was like 140 or something, and then like he got it on his credit card or whatever, and it was like 800. And he
Oh my
like
goodness.
tried to get back to him, and they're like, oh, we made a mistake, but they never really did anything about it. So
Yeah,
just
that
crazy
sucks.
stuff like that. So
Yeah, at that point you got to charge back on the bank. But yeah, there's like that just sucks. It can
yeah,
happen. That just sucks.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely like a weird market, but the shoes themselves like are hated on way too much in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like if you want to buy retail, go for it. If you don't want
Yeah.
to, who
It's
cares?
like especially with the Kobe's, like they're all so expensive. I'm not gonna drop $1,000 on a pair of basketball shoes.
Especially
Like
when the
when I
ones that are 140 are better.
Yeah.
exactly like the ones that I think I paid 240 for a pair of reverse Grinches and regular Grinches for both pairs. I got it
For
for
both
240.
pairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
I
Great
people
think
paying
deals.
like $500 for just a regular pair of reverses or something like that. It's like
I
what?
mean, I'll still always like enter in the Nike raffles or whatever.
Oh yeah, same.
But there, the thing is like actually I think it was Jacob that I was talking to, Jacob Young.
Mhm.
He said something like the reason that they don't like just release mass amounts of Kobe's is because every other line would fail. He said that someone told him that, someone like
That
from an
kind of makes
employee
sense
store or
because the
something.
demand is always so high every single
Yeah.
release.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, like if there's Kobe's out, nobody's buying LeBrons except the people that like love LeBron to death. So I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense, but it just still pisses me off. I'm like, bro, if
Yeah.
LeBron's line fails, who cares except LeBron? Like Nike's
Except
making
LeBron.
more money. Like, come on. But
100%.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the way tens, Kobe sixes definitely up there. The other ones, so the Kobe eights with the AG midsole or whatever. So like,
Yeah.
what about is it a midsole? Did I say that right?
Yeah, so the Kobe 8 has the drop in midsole situation. And then I got mine. Yeah, I got mine in here as well. So what makes the
Yeah.
AG4 really nice is that it's the
I
only
hate
one
the
of these.
shoes. The
The
shoes are
shoes suck.
terrible.
No, the shoes are terrible. They're okay. I have to be partners with 361 still. I
Yeah,
actually kind of
I
like
mean,
them, but they're like so heavy.
I like 361. Like I've worked with them a lot.
Yeah.
I just don't really love the AG line. When I was doing that partnership with them for the AG4s, I actually
Yeah.
asked them for the Jokic's because they look better to me. Have you tried those?
Yes.
They don't make them in size 12s.
Oh, really? I
They
was
don't
trying
make
to
them in
get them
12s.
because I thought they looked great, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have any in your size."
Yeah.
It was
So
11 though. I was going for
yeah, it
11.
only goes up to 11. There are some sites where they still exist, but on the official partnership, they use their US factory. So yeah, they don't have it in 11s anymore. But you
Yeah,
should get them. CJ swore by him before, he tore his Achilles. But yeah, I was gonna work on him. Those are the pair that I actually gifted to him. I was gonna work with him on a collab like review. And then
yeah.
now I'm just like, well, you tore your Achilles. I feel kind of bad putting this out right now.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to kind of like get a pair for myself that I could test, but they just straight up don't exist.
Yeah.
But
That's
you're right.
hilarious.
The Jokic line is like built to be like one of the best one
Looks
foot
good.
jumping
Yeah.
shoes at the very least. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, get back to the midsole. Sorry for interrupting
Yeah.
you, but yeah, I mean, 361 again. Love it, but the Aaron Gordons are just like too heavy and too high for me, to be honest.
Yeah, so these have this like just really good cushion and then really good like bounce back. And then the original Kobe 8 shoe, I don't know about the Pro Tours, but the originals are like super light with really good traction. And
Yep.
they have this nice carbon fiber in the middle just for torsional stability. So for me it was kind of like a no-brainer. Like I want to put the best like I want to put the lightest out what do you call this? Just the lightest sleeve chassis with the largest with the best insole and just make that happen. And I've only played in this a few times, but both times I've kind of just done some crazy shit jumping wise. So yeah, I
Yeah.
love these.
Because like I have these right here, which these are actually an original pair. They're not the Protros.
Yeah.
So like I when I saw you post that about like the actual midsole or insole to put in there, I was like really debating on just like obviously getting a pair, but I'm just like I don't want to
Mhm.
just buy a pair of shoes just for the insole. So it's just like I just
Yeah.
never did it. So but like obviously I would love to do that because I love these, but like because again they're extremely light, but again the insole in here is just it's just not good enough. So
Yeah.
like if I wanted to wear these again for especially for dunking, for hooping for sure I'd wear these, but for
Yeah.
dunking I could never wear these with the insole that's in here right now. There's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I do like what Serious Player Only is doing because they sell the insoles just straight up.
Yeah.
Really?
Like
Okay.
yeah, they sell the explosive and the support ones and uh I feel lucky because they're just like, hey, you want to review our insole? I'm just like, hell yeah, I want to review your insole. But now they have I don't know, they're out
I
of
reached
stock of
out to
everything.
them. I reached out to them like when they first started, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll do stuff with you," and then they just like really never got back to me. So that's really
So
unfortunate because now
yeah.
they're getting pretty big, and I love everything that they're doing. So hopefully, can
So
do
Shankar, would
stuff with them
you
eventually.
recommend buying those then for these for the
I
Kobe's?
would, I would, but I would also wait for the explosive midsole to redrop, or I can even send you because we're both size 12s, right?
He's
No,
a
I'm a
10 and a
size 10
half.
and a half.
He's
I'm a
Never
10 and a
tiny.
mind.
half.
I can't hook you up for the down low. My fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, so yeah, midsole. That's a crazy midsole. I haven't even got to really try it out in their shoes, um, just because I don't have any to put them in. But
Yeah.
I mean, the other one, the big one, the Li-Ning Gamma. I
Mm.
mean, just talk about your experience because none of us have had that experience yet.
Well,
So
so
I need to get that, bro.
obvi obviously don't spend $400 to $500 on these. I love them. I
How
still
much
don't
did you
think they're
spend?
worth. I spent 300 because they were 280 and then plus the shipping on
What'd
Wow
you buy them
Soul.
on?
Wow
Household?
Soul. And then on
Oh,
Wow
were
Soul,
they
if
on
you
sale, bro?
no, it was as soon as they drop, and then the further away from when they drop, they become more expensive because it's kind of like a reselling market. So
No.
I was like refreshing constantly, and I'm like, oh shit, they're up, and then I went and got and checked it out. But what makes these super good is like just the upper is super lightweight, so you already like you put them on, and then they just feel super light, and you're just flying up and down the court. Um, I don't really, I don't feel like I got enough jump sessions in them other than the 1 foot jump, like 1 foot session I had where I hit the East Bay where I felt like these are really great for 2 foot jumping. Like I want to put these more in you know, I want to put these through more sessions to really get like how good they are. But I think it's just kind of the best of everything. It's like you get the
Yeah.
embedded carbon fiber, super minimal, super lightweight, really good traction. Like I think the traction's like way better than the Wave Way 10s too. It's like way more consistent.
Wow.
So
That's
would you
crazy.
rank those higher than the WoW 10s then?
Oh
I
yeah,
think you put
100%.
Even
those
though
at
that
number
you've only
one.
done it? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because they're just off the charts on everything.
It's just the only
It's
problem is the
crazy.
price.
The price fucking sucks.
Everything is great about it except for the price. The price is like
Yeah,
Yeah,
only
bro.
thing that's holding everybody back.
I've been looking at Poison.
yeah,
Um what's it called? Kick's Own and then Kick's Crew. And
yeah,
they're all like mid 400s. Some of them are like I have some right here for 375, but even that is like
yeah. It's
I've
not
never
it's
I
spent
not worth
can't
it.
even
I
close
can't
to
do
that,
that.
bro.
Yeah.
No. I think
In China,
if I found something under 300, I would probably just end up buying it. Like even if it was like 280.
yeah. So
Still crazy though.
on the b-ball shoes subreddit, people in China can sometimes say like, "Oh, I've seen this in store. This is what they're going for." And apparently in China they're going for like 170 or like 165. But
Bro,
when I look at online retailers through like the Chinese market, I haven't found anything under 250. Like everything's like upmarket on the Chinese like online side of
So
things.
it's like, is there an actual like retail price for it, or is it
it's
just like
500.
No, I
that's
think it's 165.
That's crazy,
But it's
bro.
kind
so
of the
like
same deal as like Kobe's. Like these are basically the Kobe's of the Asian market.
So, would you say that the best option is to pay for a plane ticket to China and then pay 165 and then come back? Is that the cheapest option right now?
Well, look, if you can get a round trip and paid 165 for under $500, then yeah, make that happen. But I don't think that's realistic.
yeah, I don't think that's happening.
No, definitely not. That's crazy though. Um, I need to like find a friend that lives in China or something. I can't even,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I know a couple people that do, but not very
I mean,
many.
at the end of the day, these are basically so the Jokic's, they're basically built the same way, where they
Hmm.
have like the embedded carbon fiber. The Jokic's are going to be a little bit heavier, but more or less it's the same shoe. So if you guys are able to get one of those like somewhere, like I think they're still like in stock for like size 11s on like Kickscrew and Kickzone. That's like 150, like a 150 or $160 shoe instead.
Hmm.
And what version is that for the Jokic's?
The big three future.
Okay,
Good future. All right. Yeah, I mean, I would totally love to get some of those gammas on. I hope they drop
dude,
more colors,
the color,
hopefully on
dude,
sale.
yeah, bro,
Both
the
the colors are insane
colorways
too.
yes,
They're
that's
super
a big
unique
part of it
looking.
too.
That's a crazy thing. I
Yeah.
kind of forgot about that. They're super unique looking shoes.
Like honestly, if I
Totally.
had to choose like that those are like the two best looking colorways on any shoe that I've seen so far. Like the blue is just pops, and then the purple with like the rainbow type of vibe is just crazy.
Yeah,
I'm happy with them.
everything matches perfectly, bro.
Yes.
I still don't really have a fit that makes sense though with them because I'm just like they're just too unique. I don't know how to dress around them.
Yeah.
It's funny. Another thing that I've liked a lot recently is the Wade All City models. So like,
Oh, I
what
love
is your
them.
take on those? So I actually have two pairs.
So do
Wade
I.
Uranic sent me
Yeah,
these ones. The the All City 12s in the yellow colorway, and I like
yeah,
them a lot. I like. All right, we ran out of time, but we're back. So we're talking about the Wade All City line again. I got this yellow pair. Wade sent me this yellow pair. Liked them a
yeah.
lot. I was like using them over Wade 10s sometimes just to kind of switch it
Mm,
up. So I liked them so much that I bought another pair. Like I actually bought this one. I got this colorway. It's like the white, pink, blue, or whatever.
yeah,
Really like how these look. I've only got to wear them one time so far, just because I only want to wear them in nice gyms in case I wear them at camp. But yeah, I mean those. I never got the All City 11s because they didn't have those ones. I never got
I love
those
those.
because they didn't have 11 and a half, and I was like, oh well, I just can't get them. I think
Yeah,
they actually recently got 11 and a half in the All Cities, but I actually got an 11 in both of those, and they fit like they're tight. They're really tight, but like I kind of
yeah,
like that really tight. So
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
Like same thing with me. Obviously, I use these for. I think I started using these. So I actually brought these to camp. But funny
right.
thing is
dude
before I
wore
even got into like
PG
the dunk,
sixes over Wade All City 11s.
I wore these for like 2 years, and obviously I had
Crazy.
one session and I started wearing these, and these shoes I used for like I think it was like 6 months straight. I didn't use another shoe for 6 months.
Yeah,
So I really love this shoe. The only problem that happened was the insole got like my heel basically ripped the insole, so like I couldn't
yeah.
use them anymore. So I did get another pair, but then I just got the All City, or not the All City. I got the Way 10s, but then I recently just bought these ones, which these are the
Ooh.
12s, and
Yeah,
I
those are
actually
nice.
just wore these yesterday for the first time in a session. I mean, I didn't jump the best, like just technique wise, it didn't feel good, but like these felt really good. The only problem was like it was kind of like getting me like it was like rubbing on my ankle a little bit, like right below it.
Yeah,
So like, that's the only problem I always say with it. Otherwise, I mean, they feel really, really good, very comfortable. Love the
Speaking of
bounce on them and stuff like that. So
yeah. Speaking of rubbing on the ankle, bro, this is totally irrelevant. like the back of my ankle, or like basically like the back of my foot is like black.
Oh,
Like it's so messed up. It's
from just
almost like
like
a
hooping.
callus. I don't even know, but it's
Ah,
terrible, bro. It's just gotten worse over time.
I mean,
So I'm
if it doesn't
actually,
hurt, don't worry about
I
it.
mean, it hurts like a little bit, but it's not like a sharp pain. It's literally just like a callus hurting, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
going to like a foot doctor or something like after dunk camp, but chances are I'm just gonna be like, well, probably the only thing I can do is like not dunk, and
yeah.
it's not. I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna have to cut off my foot, so I'm just gonna have to deal with it. But it's such a
Dude,
weird thing, bro.
freaking Dom Gonzalez, the first time he put on his weight tens, he would like jump so much and plant so hard that he'd give himself like a big ass bloody scar on the right side of his foot. And he'd literally have like red stains on his socks. And I'd be like, yo, I have cushions that you can put inside your shoes to help. He's like, no, I'll be fine. I'll just jump through it. He'd just jump through the blood.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Does he use them
So
now?
actually, what was that?
What was that?
Does he use them? Does he start? Did he start using them ever? Or not really.
Yeah, no, he was doing all of his stuff before his quad injury. He was doing everything in the weight tens.
Yeah, but did he start using those pads or not?
Yeah, I think it helped him, but I think he just kept when he had the scabs, he would just keep jumping through him and he wasn't letting the scab heal. That was why it just kept opening up.
Yeah, makes sense. We're
So
saying Hunter.
I got a question. So
Yeah.
again, going along with the shoes, what do you feel about this line?
I was gonna
Uh
ask about those too.
The GT
yeah.
cuts.
Oh, I got opinions. I got opinions. So consensus is the GT Cut 2 suck, and I align with that, but from what people who have like taken the time to break those shoes in have told me is that they're really good once they're broken in. I just hate how
I've
they
heard that
look.
too, but I don't
Yes.
like first, yeah, again, I don't like how they look. And I've heard that like break-in could vary between 2 weeks and 2 months. And for a shoe that's like it's definitely not like the best shoe. So I just like I can't
Yeah.
justify, especially when retail now is like 180 for those. I
Yeah.
can't justify paying 180 for a shoe that's like not that good, takes forever to break in, and looks terrible. I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
I can't do it, bro.
Because
Yeah.
obviously the one person that obviously I know that wears them and that has been wearing them a
Hawkins.
ton is Donovan. He's
Yeah.
wore the ones, twos, and now he's starting to wear the threes. So like obviously a guy like obviously it's his jumping ability, but for like him to wear those every single session, while there's like the Wade lines, there's Kobe lines, but like he just chooses that. So I'm just wondering like what your take on it is and
Right.
stuff like that.
We'll have to
So
actually, Hunter, you got to write that down. We got to talk to him about it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Let
I
me
got you.
let
I'll
me.
write
Oh, that'd
that.
be dope.
I think we're talking to him on Tuesday, so we got
That's
to
dope.
get his
You
opinion
guys
on
got a
that.
great clientele already for your first few
Yes.
Yeah,
podcasts. I love the way you guys are approaching this podcast. It's great.
yeah,
Um, so with the ones, the GT Cut ones were like revolutionary at the time. They were a little heavy,
yeah.
but it doesn't matter because they never put like React and Zoom that way, except for like the KD11s. But if you guys didn't play in the KD11s, they were trash. They were like
I
super
did not
unstable and
know.
everything. So it was like a proper how do I put this implementation of React, and then they had Zoom, and then they had Zoom under that. So even if they were a little clunky, it was just like every single step you took, you just had like a lot of energy. And I remember I took the PG6s, which just have React, and the GT Cut ones to a hoop session once, and then
Yeah.
after taking the GT Cut ones off, I played in the PG6s, and I'm just like, why is it so much harder to get up and down the floor? And then the other thing with the GT Coat ones is that they have pretty good traction. I feel like it's kind of overrated. I think with
Yeah, I
time, I've been
think
able to see like it hasn't been that good.
yeah. It's good. It's definitely like above average, but yeah, it's not perfect. I think you actually sent me or I bought
Yeah,
the Star GT Cut one, the like
yeah,
you know, what was it? Something blue. It was
yeah,
like Carolina blue, basically. And I wore them a few times, probably like 5, 6 times.
yeah.
And the thing is, I probably bought them when they were way too big for me because I'm like, I think I kind of thought I was like a size 12 for a while,
Ah,
but now I'm starting to realize that I'm probably closer to an 11 because of like my weight all city 12. I've been wearing 11, so I'm between like an 11 and 11 and a half.
gotcha, gotcha.
The things that I noticed when I wore them were that they were really comfortable. Again, I don't
Mhm.
really care about comfort though, because they were a little bit too big for me.
Yeah,
So, but everything else, like they felt great. The traction was again not like the best traction I've had, but it was pretty good. But they just felt like they just felt like comfortable to play basketball and like not like comfortable, but it was just like everything just felt easy. It was just they were a
Yeah.
little bit too big, so that was the only thing though.
Yeah, and with the cut threes is that they're like a lot lighter, so they're actually more built like a Kobe, but then they have like their running lines foam, the Zoom X foam in it, and I think it's all right. I think what
Have you
I'm
tried them
really
yet?
looking I did a review on them, and then I actually sent it to my friend. Says I have a friend who lives in New Jersey. We're the same size, so if he wants me to review something, he'll send it to me, and then I'll send it back after reviewing. So it's nice and cost efficient. And I'm thinking about getting myself a pair, but I also once again I don't like how the colorways are looking right now,
Yeah,
so
and
I'm
you
kind
have
of just
so
like
many.
waiting on a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have so many shoes that it's fine. No rush.
Yeah, literally.
No, what I'm actually waiting for are the Jordan 39s because those are gonna have like
I
they're gonna
heard
be
that
a
those
little
are gonna be
heavy,
pretty
but they're
good.
gonna have
Yeah.
Zoom X and then also Zoom. And that's like something that Nike hasn't really done. And Jordan himself came down and he's like, y'all are fucking up the line. Let me hold up and actually like help design the shoe.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, what have been the good Jordans? Because I know there's been a couple that you've liked for sure,
Yeah.
and a lot of other
The
dunkers have
34s.
liked.
Y'all know Kilgannon rocks with the 34s, right?
You know those red
Yeah,
ones?
yeah,
Yeah, he jumps in those red ones. Yeah.
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 What was the other ones? The really old ones that he wore? Not really old, but like the
Ooh.
older ones.
Well, so he used to jump in LeBron
Although
10s
those were
like a lot.
LeBrons, actually. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was thinking about LeBron.
But I don't know if you guys know this. There's like I wouldn't say a meme, but it's like there's some guys who have like ungodly bounce in Jordan 11s and specifically only Jordan 11s.
Yeah.
Like what's his name? You guys did a podcast with Josh Rubel, and he's
Josh.
been jumping in the
Yes.
Jordan
In
11
the
lows.
Concords. Yeah.
Yeah, the Concords.
I
Jordan
asked him about
11s
that
are
too.
more or less like modern basketball shoes. Like they have air and they have like Phylon, I guess, but then they have like that bottom loaded carbon fiber, which goes
Hmm.
really, really far.
I think I have like the most random Jordan shoe experience ever. When I was like fifth grade, I bought a pair of zip up Jordan ones, and I
Wow.
wore those for basketball. Um, and so I think I still have those actually. They're
Yes, you
somewhere
do.
around here. Yeah, I don't
Yes,
remember
you
where they.
do.
I have no
I think
clue.
they're
Like
in a shoebox. They're in a
they're not
shoebox
in
or something, I'm pretty
they're not in
sure.
this room. Yeah, but they're the funniest things ever.
Because didn't
And
you
then
design them?
yeah,
Like,
I
didn't you?
hydro dipped them eventually because I got bored. But yeah, so I had those, and then I had like some other ones. I don't even remember what model they were. They're just like fashion ones. So like I've never had actual Jordan basketball shoes. But, yeah. I have been wanting to try the 34s or there was one other one that I think people were talking about.
The 36s, I think, are also like really good for
36s,
one foot
yeah.
jumpers
Yeah.
because they just have that like stiffness that works.
I
Like
think
Don Evans swears by them.
Sutherland wears them, right? Or he did for a while.
Sutherland used to wear them, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so going off of the new shoes that are coming out, like obviously there's quite a bit of shoes that are coming out this summer that we can kind of look forward to.
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on the Way of Wade 11s? Because I know
11s,
that the
yes.
pictures are I can't tell to be honest. Like they look
Yeah.
kind of cool. Like I've seen some colors that I've liked, but again, the colors aren't really going to matter if they're a crappy shoe. I would doubt that, but I guess you're the one to
The
Yeah.
only
tell
I
us.
just want to ask one question with the
Yeah.
11s. Are those highs or low or like mids or lows? Like,
They
or are
they look
they
like mids. They look like
okay?
mids
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
look like
Because
They
mids.
have an
that's probably
infinity version that like is built more like a low and it has that sock liner that makes it look like a mid, but it's realistically a low.
yeah. I can only
Yeah,
Um,
do lows. Like I just
same.
can't. I don't like when a shoe touches my ankle. I just can't stand it.
Yeah,
So like
that's kind of that's how I was too. And I got some way 10 highs the Miami Beaches. Um,
yeah.
these ones, or actually I don't know if that's what they're called, but whatever.
South Beaches or
Um,
something.
yeah, South Beaches. And when the first couple times I wore them, I was like, I don't like these. Like I just don't like feeling that because it's like a new feeling, you know. But I think
Yeah.
the more I did it, the more like I like them. So like I haven't worn them recently. I don't even know why, to be honest. But I actually really like the tens, and I think that it's just getting used to it. Really, like it's not really like. Oh, the other thing was I was tying them too tight, so it was kind of
Mhm.
digging in. But then once I
Yeah.
just started like tying the entire shoe really tight, but then like the top like kind of loose, that's kind of what made me like really like them a lot. So yeah, that's kind of like my high low
Yeah, you can
experience.
kind of get into it now, Shankar, with the like all the tech and what you've seen from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, now that I'm gonna have to be wearing ankle braces for the next year, or just one ankle brace for the next year, I probably have to do lows because like highs make it really hard to fit ankle braces.
Mm.
But I totally understand like the mobility is like a thing, 100%. But I've usually been able to play in highs no problem because I usually just wear like crew socks for everything too. So I just put them on under the crew socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about the weight 11s? Do you like? What do you not like?
I
What are
think
we
they're growing
seeing?
on me. They just look like hardens though, and I've never liked the
Yeah,
hardened sevens,
same.
which is what they look like. But they look supportive, and I'm gonna need something supportive. So if I can convince my way of weight rep to send me a pair whenever they actually have stock, that'd be great because I don't want to spend another $250 on them.
Yeah,
Is that how much they retail for now?
They're gonna be 225, I'm sure.
yeah.
225. Yeah.
Do you think that they're even going to be like comparable to Wade tens, or are they like completely different? Because they look a lot different to me, but I
I
don't
think they're
really
going to
know.
be completely different. I think they're going to be like if you had Wade 10s that were just like a little overbuilt and like kind of built for like a football player, that's what they would be.
I mean that kind of sucks, but because that's
Yeah.
obviously not me. But I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get them, to be honest.
I don't
I
know if I
was
would be
when
honest.
I
Yeah.
first saw them, I was like, yeah, I'll probably just get them and see. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, there's no reason for me to be getting these bulky
Yeah.
shoes. Like I
Yeah,
can just
so
get another pair of Wade tens.
what happened was the lead designer of the Way of Wade 10 line left to design Kyrie's shoes for Anta. So they
Hmm.
had to cancel what they were initially planning and then put it on break, which is why we didn't get them for like
That's why it took forever.
19 months. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised he couldn't do both, to be honest. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, but I
you
mean,
probably
Kyrie's a
can't
goat.
like, yeah, probably can't like for not legally, but I don't know what the proper term is. So
But Shankar, for like the 11s, like obviously Waywades have had a lot of really good shoes, like the All City 11s, 12s, obviously the Wade 10s. So where do you think it's going to rank in between like those? Just by obviously you don't have the shoe, but just looking at it and like seeing the tech and stuff, like what do you think the breakdown is going to be like ranking
So
wise?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to have that same angled carbon fiber. But of the one of the shoes that have all that angled carbon fiber, it's probably going to be towards the bottom, which is still going to be like a top 15, top 10 shoe, maybe.
Yeah,
I think just how bulky it is and like how different it is from the rest of the shoes that everyone's been like jumping in. Like I feel like everyone now has a pair of Boy 10s in the dunk community, which is
pretty
good.
much,
So it's gonna be like a completely different situation. I think like dunkers, if they want a weight shoe, they should go with the All City 12. I think those are just like super reliable for most people.
and they're pretty cheap too. So
Yeah,
that's the nice thing
definitely.
about the All City line.
I fucking love it.
100%.
That, yeah, we never
Because they
talked.
both of them are 150 retail.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, we never talked. I never answered that question. Like what makes the All City line really good, but like the main thing is like you get 90% of what makes the Way of Way 10 good.
yeah,
Um, so it's like, and then you for like a fraction of the cost. It's like a no-brainer.
yeah. It was such a good. Like I was every time that I've gotten shoes from Way twice. The other ones were these ones,
Mhm.
the Shadow
The shadows.
fours,
Yeah.
and I was like, when I got those, I was like, oh, maybe it's like only the Way tens are good, you know. So, getting the Way 12s, I had kind of low expectations just because of that experience. Obviously,
Yeah.
those aren't great, and they're too big for me too. So that's another thing. I messed up again on the sizing, but
Yeah.
yeah, like the first session with the Wade All City 12s was insane, and obviously got another pair, so that's how much I like them. I mean, yeah, those are
Yeah,
crazy. Definitely worth the price. So,
100%.
I mean, you talked about Anta for a second, but what do you think about the Kai ones or whatever they are? 'Cause I
I
think they look
think
pretty good, but
Yeah.
I think they look
obviously you're the
decent.
expert.
I think with Anta, they're not really making shoes for people who are trying to jump higher. I
Probably
feel
not.
like
Yeah.
every Anta shoe I've had is just like a little bit on the heavier side and just feels a little bit like just a little bit too clunky to me. And I know that
Yeah.
like the technology, like the foam is supposed to break in after a while, but I've never
Oh,
spent enough time where I've gotten to be able to do that. I think the
yeah.
Kyries are just going to be good shoes in general, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Okay.
So, would you say like that is like literally Way of Wade's like mission is to like just make shoes make you jump higher? Like, is that like their thing, or is it just like they're just trying to make the best shoe and it's kind of like a effect of it.
I think the second one. I think they're trying to market to outdoor hoopers in China first, but I don't know if you know this about Chinese hoopers. They're getting mad athletic, like mad
Yeah,
bouncy.
yeah, I've seen. The
So
thing is, though, you rarely see them. Like, there's this one guy on JumpX. His name's like Chupac Dunks or something.
mm,
He posts like random guys on his story. Like they don't even like have Instagram. They're doing like under both over people,
yeah,
like stuff like that. It's like, who is this guy? And like, why have I never seen him before? But
why have I never
they're
seen
getting
exactly?
crazy. But I do think kind of like the videos of the Chinese guys dunking on like that low rim at that one place with like the free throw line that's probably like 10 feet. I think that kind of
Yeah.
discredits a lot of the Chinese basketball scene a bit. I
I
think
mean,
a lot
yeah,
of
but the
people
bounce is
take that.
real,
No, the
you know.
bounce is insane, but I don't know why they use that hoop, bro. Kind of makes me mad.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, agreed.
Like
Agreed.
dude had his
Uh
back foot on the 3-point line on a double up between the legs, and I was like,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know if that's possible,
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
especially for someone I've never seen before. Like I don't know, but
I kind of liken
they're insanely athletic though. That is
yeah.
100%
100%.
true.
I kind of liken Anta to Adidas, where like Adidas is kind of like the secondary shoe, and everyone like swears by, oh, Adidas, like the Harden sevens are so dope, or the Harden eights, but like technologically, not
No,
like they're
no,
not making shoes for that. And then like leaning and way is like Nike, where like they
yeah,
have the super light shoes, they have the budget lines, they have the super high tech lines, and they're kind of king.
yeah.
So that's
Um,
kind of what I was gonna go into is like the more like lower end of Nike. Like, what do you think about those? Or like, say kids can't afford like these Wades or the Wade tens that are obviously 200 retail. Like, what do you think about like the Jaws, the Sabrinas, the
I
like
like the
those types
Jaws a
of
lot.
shoes?
That's a really good question. I feel like with Nike, they put the same stuff in almost
Yep,
every shoe. So if
Christmases.
you don't hit on the Jaws, you'll be able to hit on the GT Cut Academies. If you don't hit on the like the KD 15s, or you can't afford the KD 15s, or even the LeBrons,
Yeah,
the Sabrina ones are really really good shoes.
yeah,
Like Sabrina ones are basically like the successor to the Kobe line
yeah.
in like stylistically at the very least.
The
And then
Yeah.
the
one
good thing
thing
about Nike is everything goes on like 80% sale within 6 months. So if
easily,
you,
yeah.
yeah,
You
if
just
you
gotta
don't
look
get like
around.
the super high, yeah, if you don't get the super high tech stuff, you'll be able to get it eventually at like a factory store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that I always tell people is that, a lot of people have come up to me and they're just like, oh, I can't buy, way tens because either my mom doesn't let me buy from some Chinese or some refit or some resale site, or
Yeah,
because I don't want to pay that much. Like, what shoes should I get that I can go, or that I just like, what shoes can I get from Nike, basically? Like, what I always say is just go to Dick's, bro. Like go to Dick's
yeah,
and just try on all of them. Like literally just try on every single shoe because one thing that a lot of my friends do is they'll buy a shoe and then they'll just return it because they're like, "Oh, I don't like it." Like
mm,
you would have known if you would have just gone to the store. Like it's a lot less time to just go to the store and try on everything and you'll just see what you like. And over time, you'll start to learn. Like I'm sure you've experienced this. Like you just know
yeah,
like what works for you. Like over time, I've tried on so many shoes. I've used so many shoes that like I don't even really need to go to Nike anymore. I'm just like, yeah, those look like something that would fit me.
yeah,
Like same thing. Um, like specifically like my brother I went with him to Dick's and he tried on like the jaw ones and it was just like the toe like compressed too much or something. So it's like, okay, you can't get those. So go
yeah,
try on these. And eventually we narrowed it down to you got the LeBron and XXT gens or whatever. Um and like those work great for him. So but you'd never know that if you never went to the store and you actually looked. So I think that's a great thing to
yep,
do, especially if you're looking
yeah.
for budget models. And then obviously you don't need to buy them at the store. Like you can still go online, find a sale. Especially in America, bro, it's so easy
It's
to
so
find
easy.
cheap stuff. So like just take the time.
And the good thing about going to Dick's instead of like a Nike factory store is that you get all the brands just right there. So you can
Yeah.
just try like all the different brands and be like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't
I
like
mean,
this today.
I really only do Nike, but like
Yeah,
especially for people like the people that I'm talking about that like literally just don't know what to get. Try on everything. Like even like some like there's some Curry shoes that I'd say are decent for basketball. There's some Adidas shoes that are decent. Like I can't really I just don't I would never wear them. I don't know why, just because like Adidas are too wide for me. I think that's the biggest thing, or a lot of
yeah,
them anyway. But yeah, like just go try on stuff. It's not that hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can we switch directions a little bit? Because I wanted to ask
Go
you guys
for
a
it.
couple of
Yeah,
like
go for it.
dunking questions.
Yeah, for
Shoot
sure.
So
it.
where I'm at, like Dylan, you're way more consistent with the East Bay. Hunter, you're at like the advanced level, so you have like the East Bay, the BTB. What do you guys do with your hand speed to like make your guys' hand speed so much more consistent on certain dunking motions? Is it mostly just like hooping? Do you think people with good handles generally make better dunkers like Dom and CJ?
I would say the first thing that I did, or like what I did growing up, was first of all, I dunked on 7 feet all the time.
Yeah,
That was like the biggest thing I did. But another huge thing I did that I actually never really talk about is like crazy like the crazy layups, like Tristan Jazz stuff. I was
yeah.
always doing that, and I used to only post those because I couldn't dunk. So I was like, well, the next best thing I can do is do a 360 behind the back reverse layup, like cool stuff. Um, and now everyone kind of thinks that looks stupid, but like I thought it was sick back then. So like
Yeah.
I think that was a big thing I did. But recently, what I do, the way that I like maintain or improve my hand speed now is I have 2 dunk sessions a week. One of them's on Saturday, typically if it's possible, a group session with the Minnesota guys, and that is on like 9, 10 and a half, 10 feet, whatever's available. But then the other one is Wednesday, and I dunk on anything between 9 feet and 9.8, and I just rep out dunks. So I think like 9 feet has been like I honestly I can't even say that like I enjoy 10 feet over 9.8 or over 9 feet or the other way around. Like lower rim dunking has just always been so fun to me. And people look at it like it's stupid. So many people have told me like, yo, bro, you should probably just like stop posting your 9 foot stuff. Just like only post your 10 foot stuff. And I'm like,
Fuck that.
nah, like come on, like it's crazy. Like I love that. So I'd say if you're doing 2 sessions a week, I would make one of them probably 6 inches at least lower than the other one, because
Yeah,
then the next day, like everything feels different. So that's kind of one thing I do. And then wall drills and like 7 feet, like just finishing like this, like boom, 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 and just finishing really
yeah.
quick. Like that's another thing that I do. But those are the 2 biggest things is just low rimming and then like wall drills or like wall drills on a super low rim.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of all basically similar stuff,
Yeah.
but something kind of didn't touch on is just us being a kid early on growing up. We always just were on a low rim, just having fun with our friends in our driveway and stuff like that. Like that's kind
Yeah.
of like where I developed like a skill of dunking and how to dunk and stuff like that without even realizing that it would obviously help with the dunking that
Yeah.
I'm doing now. But so there's that. And then he said, so for me, obviously I'm a little bit older than him. Not that I'm like really old, but like it's just I'm jumping a lot higher and I can't really do the 2 sessions a week anymore.
Yeah.
I just
Just
get
because my
hurt
knee
immediately.
pain, yeah, my knee pain comes back. I started to get Achilles pain. Like I just couldn't do that. So like it was I was gonna try doing a 10 foot and a 9 foot session. So like a 9 foot on Friday, Saturday, and then a 9 foot session on a Tuesday. I did that for like 2 weeks straight, and then I couldn't like I basically got hurt. Like I didn't get like hurt, but like everything was hurting.
Mhm.
So what I've been doing is I don't do it daily, but I try to do it as much as possible. I just lower the rim and like on that 7 whatever it is, and I just dunk like that, and I just do different variations, and that's also where I get my dunk ideas from too. Like
Yeah.
obviously a lot of them I go on YouTube and just watch like my plants like Connor Barth, Tyler Curry, Donovan, like those guys, but a lot of it is just me trying it on like that rim where you don't even have to jump because again, you're not taking any like risk factors into that. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, you could bruise your wrist or whatever, but that's the fun part. Anyways,
So
um,
two, so 2 for 2 on this, and then I'm sure there's so much empirical evidence supporting this,
yeah,
but this is what was missing when I was a kid, is even though I had a hoop in the driveway, I never really just repped it out low rimming
I
stuff
think
because
I think
I was a
it's
shooter.
discouraged from some kids. Like, oh, don't
Yeah.
play on
yes,
that. It's not going to help you with basketball. And honestly, I think that it helped me a lot with basketball.
It helped
exactly,
with
I'm
basketball.
for
It helped you
sure,
guys with your
it's
athleticism,
crazy.
helped you guys with your
for
hand
sure.
speed. And in
Yeah,
Spain, they have low rim leagues until you're 12. And
I
then you
love
see
that,
how
bro.
freaking good or not Spain. I don't think it's Spain. Like a lot of European places, like
Yeah,
when they do child development, they have low rim leagues until you're like sixth grade.
it totally makes sense too. Like,
Yeah,
And
there's
it
no
helps with the
reason
shooting mechanics too.
we in our like area or whatever, you start shooting on 10 feet when you're in third grade,
That's
and it's like,
ridiculous.
bro,
Too
like they
early.
can barely get the ball to hoop. And it's like you're scoring 12 points a game, sometimes
Yeah.
less. Like
yeah,
I would much rather see kids score like 30 points on an 8-foot hoop. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I 100% agree with that. It's just like you said, you can barely get the ball over the rim, and they're expecting to play full games with it. And it's just like they, like you said, kind of Shankar touching on it with the shooting mechanics. Like they're coming all the way down here and shooting like this, chucking the ball.
Yeah.
When they're going to get older, they're going to start having that where they're going to want to come down here and shoot like this instead of being like up here. So it's like it just needs a little bit of a change, I feel like. But again, I don't really see a thing that's going to change that. But
I mean, we are seeing more and more Europeans come to the NBA, so
Killing it,
definitely
man. They're killing
definitely
us.
doing something. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
for sure.
they're killing us right now.
All
But
right, I think that's all the time or so we got, right?
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, for you specifically, I would just say like if you have access to a hoop that you don't need to dunk to jump on, like literally just sitting there, working on your 1 foot between legs, just go boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, over
Yeah.
and over. Like
Yeah.
even just do it like 20 times, and
Yeah.
you'll get so much better at it so fast. So but
And
yeah,
make
that
sure with
was
that, one problem that I had when I was doing my BTBs, I talked to Jordan Kilgannon about it, is a lot of the time when you're doing that, you actually decelerate on the way here. Like, because
yeah,
you're doing the trick really fast, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm just going to go up for the dunk. Like, because you're focused on the transfer, like, way harder than the actually finishing the dunk. So you
Yeah.
actually kind of decelerate. You want to fully just punch it because that's
Yeah.
really what's going to transfer over. Because then you're going to be
yeah,
here, and then all of a sudden that's how you might lose it when you go full speed.
yeah.
So
That's a
make
great
sure you're
point.
actually going full speed through everything. Like obviously the transfer is a really important part, but also finishing the dunk fast is an important part as well.
Yeah,
That's what's going to happen when you're actually dunking on a higher rim.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
All right. Well, yeah, I think that was
Sure.
great. Definitely. Just thank you, Shankar, for coming on, sharing the
Thanks
knowledge
for
yes,
about
having
the
me,
sir.
guys.
shoes and
Yeah,
whatever.
I learned
Super
a little
fun.
bit. So
Yeah, always. But yeah, that wraps up episode 7, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in. And yeah, see you at episode 8. Oh, wait. Where can they find you, Shankar? Almost
yeah, I was about to
forgot.
You
say we
can
got to.
find me on
Above the rim reviews,
Instagram
obviously.
at Iyer Go Higher or at Above the Rim Reviews, on TikTok at Iyer Go Higher, on YouTube Above the Rim Reviews.
Yes, sir. Definitely go give them a follow. You'll learn a lot about shoes very fast. So
Exactly, and
yeah,
then you can kind of decide what shoes you can actually get and which ones would kind of fit you the best. So
yeah.
That's
All
all
right.
I'm here
Well,
for.
yeah. Thank you for coming on. We'll see you guys
yes,
later.
sir. Appreciate it.
So.
See you.